Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join three Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelli, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelli.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Miami. We are on season 7, episode number 1, MIA Back in Action. I can't believe it's 7 already.
I can't believe it either, because the original was on, 4 seasons, and then it got canceled.
Well, they called it put on hiatus, right? Yeah. And then it came back.
And so they've been back for 3.
Yeah. I think originally they were back on Peacock only.
They were.
And they weren't really even on Bravo, but now they're back on Bravo.
And who was complaining about that?
Somebody was complaining
Teddy
about
and Tamra. Teddy and Tamra were saying that it I don't know. I forget what they were saying about it, but they said it was better when it was just on Peacock. I'll have to re-listen.
Huh, interesting.
I think it was them.
That could be. So we start the episode out April of 2022. Alexis and Todd get married. They show a little clip of the wedding. And then 2 years later, April of 2024, Todd files for divorce. And that was, I guess, after we had already seen the season prior. So I guess it was, I don't know. Maybe we did see it in
it was in between last season and this season, because at the end, remember last season, he didn't want to film because of that whack video he put up apologizing to Anthony, Dr. Nicole's husband.
Right.
And then he does wind up filming, not a lot though. And then the one time they all go to Alexia's apartment, supposedly Adriana said something to him about his marriage, and he said, "You said it," or whatever, like that their marriage was on the rocks. But that was according to Adriana, so.
Right. So after we see that, they actually, not Alexia, but everyone else is like, oh, Adriana was right. And then we see Alexia is sobbing, talking to Marisol and Julia. And she starts giving us the timeline. I almost fell over when I heard this timeline. So Saturday, April 6th is when it all went down. So the day before, April 5th, they went out to dinner. They had an amazing time. He told her how much he loved her. They had sex. And then she came home on Saturday and he moved himself and his daughter out. And she found out at this point that the month before he'd gotten keys to another apartment and they'd been slowly moving things out over the month. And this actual day on April 6th, he packed up the suitcases right in front of Frankie and just left.
Front of Frankie.
I'm like, what kind of asshole is this?
Yeah, I mean, to do that in front of her son who has special needs.
And
she comes home and Frankie says he left. He packed everything up. Mommy left.
Yeah, that just blew my mind. And she even goes on to say, he took everything, even the shampoo out of the shower. Who takes the shampoo out of the shower?
I don't know. But what's interesting is, so there must be a time lapse between what we're seeing now, her talking to Marisol and Julia, to when she goes to dinner with Marisol and Lisa.
Well, there is a little bit of it. I think I have that. So
it's 5 months later. That's right.
Yes,
5 months later. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wonder why they took such a break in filming.
Well, I think they just picked up filming to pick that up because
to pick up the fact that he left.
Right. It's to pick up the fact that he left. Right. So she said in the morning, he was trying to get her out of the house. He knew in the morning that he was obviously he knew for a month that he was doing this. He knew he knew the night before when he took her out to dinner and he had sex with her that he was doing this. And then Julia says was he kind to Frankie and Peter? And Alexia's like, no.
I mean, they flash back to that scene.
That one scene where, all right, so Peter obviously smokes weed and I guess he gave some to Frankie. Now, I don't know, Frankie's obviously an adult. He's an adult with special needs though. I mean, did he want to? Did he, we don't know the circumstances behind it. But listen, Frankie, maybe he enjoys doing that once in a while
to just, hang out with his brother and be goofy and have fun, but Todd must be that type of person that's against it. There's a lot of people who don't agree with weed and it being legalized and all that nonsense. But that's what they flash back to, that
Right.
scene.
That scene. And that was, honestly, because I think that's the only scene we had really of
Yeah. I mean,
anything
he does tell
negative.
Peter he'd punch him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, Peter, I'm sure he's doing well now, and I'm happy about
Mhm.
that. He was a wise ass when he was younger. He was getting into a little bit of a trouble. I don't think he was a cakewalk, so
No, he was not. He was not.
yeah.
But I honestly, I don't think it was Todd's place to say anything. I really don't.
Probably not, but if he's paying the bills and he's supporting them,
Is he
I
though?
mean,
Because is he though?
I don't know. I don't
Right?
know.
So then she says on Monday she talked to him like nothing had happened. Like they were talking, he didn't bring up anything. And Thursday she gets a call from the attorney that he filed for divorce. I mean, that is
It's what that
insane.
crazy.
That is
Crazy.
insane, really. And then, 2 days later, she's on the phone with Marisol. Then we see her on the phone talking to Teresa, how she was blindsided. I can't believe that. All the people she
You know how
calls.
I feel about that.
I know, I know. It's so but honestly, watching that whole thing,
Louis like, "What are you doing later tonight, Alexia? Maybe I'll fly down and take you out since you were the first housewife I was interested in anyway."
I'm like, "You know what? I wonder if Teresa's gonna call, Alexia when this crazy shit happens to her."
No shit.
Right?
I
Yeah,
think
so
we'll be
then you're
seeing
right.
that online too.
5 months later, she meets up with Marisol, and Lisa's coming to meet with them, but they wanted to talk real quick before she gets there because the headline had just come out that Lenny and his fiancée broke up, and they hope that she doesn't get back with him. Marisol says, "What's going on with Todd?" And she's like, "Well," because Marisol found out that at this point she's seeing him again.
And she
And
didn't tell
she
Marisol, and they're close.
I know. She's like, "Well, I have to read about it in the press." And she's like, "Well, I was hesitant to tell anyone, and you were away, and I didn't want to ruin your trip." And she's in love with him. After everything that he did to you, how do you have that low self esteem and no self respect to allow someone to treat you like that? I mean, am I missing
Or, I
something?
mean, it could also be the comfort of a financial situation.
She has money from, I mean, Peter's
She
father was,
must have money from her husband who passed. What was his
yes,
name? I can't remember his name.
I can't either, but it'll come to us. But
But
even for,
her second husband, I mean, he was
right,
loaded.
he was
Gay, but
loaded.
loaded.
Yes. I mean, well, maybe we'll call him bi because obviously there was something going on
Well,
with her
that's
too,
true. Yeah, you're right.
right?
You're right. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, was she married to Peter and Frankie's father?
Yeah, she was.
She
That was
was.
her
So,
first husband. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, we know that we know why he was in jail. We know, there was money there. There's money. There's all,
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think she's got any of that money. I mean, I don't think, I'm sure that money got seized,
I don't
you
know.
know. I don't think she rode off into the sunset with some big bag.
I don't think she did either, but I don't think she's hurting for money. I don't think she's hurting for
No,
money.
I think her second husband set her up well. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, set her up. She ran the magazine with him.
Right. Right.
They had that magazine. So, yeah.
Then Lisa shows up and says, they ask her, about Lenny, and she said, "Yeah, and Lenny's asking to get back together." And then when she said, they said, "Well, what about Jody?" And she's like, "I have kids to worry about." I'm thinking, but then she said in her confessional, like, "I would rather be nude on like the cover of a magazine in the worst possible picture." I was like, "Oh, okay, at least she like has some common
Yeah.
sense." Like,
Yeah. I did believe it at first, though. I was like, only because we know they're not together. So it's like, oh my God, did she give him a second chance? And he, you know,
yeah,
dicked her
um,
over again? But thank God that she was kidding.
yes, I was so glad to see that.
And Marisol saying what's right for the whole isn't always right for the soul.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
Yes. And it's
That was a
true.
good line.
It
She
was a
might
good
want to put
line.
that on a cocktail glass.
Yes, yes. On her little cockies.
On her cockies. Exactly.
So then Alexia says that, Todd just thought that he could just get divorced and then like move on, but they both love each other, so that can't happen. What? I
I
mean,
don't
because they
I
are
don't know about
divorced.
that.
Like the divorce went
Yeah.
so quickly. It went
Yeah.
so quickly.
She must not have had a prenup either,
I mean,
right?
I don't
We never
know.
heard anything about it. I feel like we would
I
have heard
think
something
she
about it.
did. I think she did have a prenup.
I hope so.
Thinks she did.
Herman was her second husband.
Yes, you're right, it was Herman.
She
I
must
think
have
she
had a prenup because she had the money from him.
Yeah, I think she did.
And, it seems like Todd was a successful businessman as well.
Well,
So we
I
think.
don't know that he was because do you remember last
I know.
season, the whole apartment thing, and then he had to move out right away because he was, like,
Yes.
managing the building, and then they're looking for another apartment. I don't know. I really don't know.
I
I
know,
think
maybe he really is like a Louis.
I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I really
You're
do.
probably right.
I really do. I do.
Yeah. I forgot about all that.
Yeah,
Like I told you before we started, I don't think I finished the last season.
you probably didn't. You probably didn't.
No.
So Lisa announces that she's having a party for Jodi's birthday, and we find out that her and Larsa are not really getting along because Marcus and Jodi, I guess they became friends when they were dating, and he was out someplace and he was hanging out with Marcus.
Well, she and Jody ran into Marcus. They went to dinner and they ran
Right,
into him, and Marcus was with Jody's friends, is
right,
Lisa's story.
right. I
But
believe
she
that.
didn't take a picture with him. She didn't.
Right.
Yeah, I believe it too.
I mean, I believe that. And I think personally, I think Lisa in this situation, I don't think she did anything wrong. I don't really think she has
I
anything
don't
to
either.
apologize for. I really don't.
I don't either. And I don't understand why Alexia and Marisol are like coming at her for that. And why are they comparing Larsa and Marcus's relationship that lasted a year and they broke up a million times in that year to Lisa and Lenny?
I know.
I mean, there's no comparison.
There's no comparison. There's no comparison.
Yeah, I
No.
mean, they broke up so many times, those two, and
Yeah.
I don't know. And
I don't
why are Alexia and Marisol so invested in this?
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
Me neither.
So then we see Julia and Martina are talking about, they have these two baby boys now. And it came all of a sudden. Julia was in Moscow when she got the call. Martina was in Prague when they found out that they were adopting these two brothers. One is 3 and the other one is a year and a half old.
Well, they are
And
actual brothers.
yes, they are actual
Okay,
brothers.
I missed that part. Cute.
Yeah, they're actual brothers. And Martina's like, "Well, how did the girls take the news?" And she's like, "Well, she was telling her that, she had 6 women that joined the Zoom, and she said she could see everyone was on there, but Gertie dropped off." Listen, I think that whole thing that she's mad at Gertie for that situation is bullshit too. Gertie did
Totally
nothing
agree.
wrong. She did nothing
Gertie
wrong.
did nothing wrong. She tried to get back in. She couldn't get back in. She asked for another link. She couldn't get the link. And then we find out on Watch What Happens Live or the after show, whatever. No, there was
Yeah.
no after show. So it must have been on Watch What Happens Live that she was in between appointments. The woman
Well,
is going through breast cancer treatment that your wife just went through. If you're gonna have a problem with her because she dropped a Zoom call, listen, this is your news. Good for you. I don't like it when people expect people have very high expectations of how people should react to their own news. It's your news.
right,
So if
right.
your expectations aren't met, that's a you problem, not a them problem.
And honestly, this is what I thought was odd. One, she excused Kiki because her daughter dropped the phone in the toilet. Okay. She said her hands were full, so she couldn't really text her because I guess she was dealing with the babies at the time. But what I don't understand is the conversation that she was so upset was the text message that said congratulations. She didn't think it wasn't a conversation, it was a text. She was upset about a text message that she didn't think had the right tone.
Well, here's the thing. Her congratulations was a response to you basically telling her that she missed the call and now she has to wait to find out on TMZ what your
Right,
big news was. So
right,
you're lucky you didn't get a fuck you.
right.
I think a
Yeah,
congratulations is a pretty nice response to that bullshit text that you sent her,
I do too. I do
right?
also. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. So I don't know if you saw it. So Julia put out a statement today on her Instagram.
I did see that.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Because I guess she got a lot of flack over. Here it is. Let me just blow it up. My beautiful souls, this season you've seen a different side of me. One I even struggle to fully explain. The truth is, just before we began filming, something life changing happened. I was given the chance to welcome two incredible boys into my life. It was sudden, emotional, and felt deeply destined. But here's the part no one saw. The adoptions weren't finalized, not yet. I was living in an emotional in between, loving these boys fiercely while navigating legal uncertainty and keeping so much of it quiet. It was overwhelming, beautiful, yes, but also fragile, scared, and stressful beyond words, which is why I was so cautious about sharing anything about them in writing. That's why you couldn't text her?
Right.
So
It's all BS.
so when moments came up like sending the strange message you all saw, I didn't always show up as my most present or thoughtful self. And when it came to Gertie, the truth is, at the time we weren't in the close heart connected place we had once been. Our friendship has shifted a bit, not in anger, not in conflict, just life pulling us in different directions. So when she reached out, I was so wrapped up in protecting my own emotional chaos, I fumbled. I never meant to come off cold, careless, or bizarre. I was simply in a storm of my own. This has been a season of growth, messiness, and deep. She used such a horrible font. It's not that I can't read, it's just a
I
very hard
know. I
font
know.
to
You
read.
have
And
to, like, open it up,
I have
like,
to make it bigger.
zoom in.
It's a horrible font.
Yeah.
Has been a stressful growth, messiness, and deep transformation. Thank you for giving me the space to walk through it imperfectly but with a full and open heart. With love always, Julia. I hope that this was a conversation with Gertie before she put this on Instagram. That's all I have to say about that
You know what I
because
think this is screaming? Jackie Goldschneider. I think that Julia went into this season BFFs with Alexia and Marisol and was feeling herself because she felt like she was in the cool kid club.
mm,
So she shit on Gertie.
that
She
could
apparently was
be.
shitting on Adriana. We're going to see that play out.
Yeah.
And it's screaming Jackie Goldschneider.
I mean,
I think
that's,
we're going to see Julia backstepping out of this season like we saw Jackie
yeah.
backstepping out of rails.
I mean, that, how funny would that be? But I just,
Yeah.
listen, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to give her a little bit of grace. I'm going to see where the season goes. I'm going to see, wait and see what happens. You know, we'll see.
The funniest part was when Martina was like, when she told her about Gertie, like, well, what are you going to do about that? I'm
Right.
sorry, Martina. Are you enjoying this a little bit too much?
I know, and then when Gertie's sitting next to Martina trying to talk to her about it, she's like, you gotta talk to Julia about that."
Yeah, I mean, she's got no poker face, by the way, Martina. Like, way to show your cards.
Yeah. No, you're
Holy
right.
cow.
You're right. So then after that whole scene, then we see Lisa in her rental. She has a 6,000 square foot rental for
Poor
32,000
thing.
and it feels cozy. It feels cozy. What? Are you out of your damn mind?
I could go days without seeing my family if I lived in a 6,000 foot anything.
6-bedroom apartment. Unbelievable.
For all four of them.
Well, he has
That's
a daughter.
ridiculous.
He has a daughter, so I think she comes over too. But still,
Okay.
but
All right.
still.
So they need 3 bedrooms.
Yes. I mean, it's crazy, right?
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
listen, if Lenny's footing that bill, God bless her. But I think Jody's contributing, right? They said that?
Yeah.
Not that it's any of our
No.
business,
Yeah,
but
they live together, so I would imagine that he is.
yeah.
Lisa says she has the kids 50% of the time and that's kind of the biggest adjustment for her, but
God.
she's also kind of enjoying it. Um, having some time to herself, be able to spend with Jody alone. And she wants to make sure the party is his friends and not all. I think he wants to make sure of that too, that it's not all her friends.
Yeah.
Then we
I don't
see
blame her.
Lars. No, I don't blame her either. We see Lars is talking to her mom. I don't think we've met her mom before, have we? I don't
I don't think
remember.
so, no.
I liked her mom.
I do too. Her mom told her to get off the ride with Marcus. Is that what she said? Get off the
Yeah.
ride? I
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. Yep. Her mom came to visit her. She usually comes to visit for about 2 months. She lives in Chicago, and she's just giving her good motherly advice, like just be done with this whole Marcus situation.
I thought it was interesting when Lars was like, I don't want to address it. I don't want to have to address it. You put your relationship out there every step of the way to the point where this guy, nobody knew who he was. Listen, I'm a NBA, I'm a big basketball fan. I
You know,
didn't know
every
Michael Jordan had a son named Marcus until he started dating Larsa Pippen.
Okay, I think everyone knew, though. I think that was, like, common knowledge.
Well,
I
there
mean,
you go. That's
especially
it's
since
just
she's an NBA wife, like, I mean.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. When that came out, I was like, "Oh, damn," you know? Nobody knew who Marcus Jordan was, and then all of a sudden he's on Traders. Like, come on.
Well,
You put
alright,
your every step of your relationship out there, but now you don't wanna address it because you broke up?
yeah.
You have to.
I think at this point, I think that it definitely had at this point, after the breakup, the pictures had come out with him, doing the coke, which,
Yeah.
this is horrible, just horrible.
Yeah.
And I think she wanted, I mean, even, and to think that her kids are seeing this, like, come on.
I know, because then there will be speculation that she did, which I don't think she did. I don't think she's that stupid. I mean, I
I
don't
don't think
know
she did
though.
either.
Like, I mean, I don't think she did. I'm just saying I don't think that in Miami cocaine is looked at a little bit differently than it is in New Jersey. I don't, we know that any party we go to, we're not going to see that. I would imagine that in Miami, that's a different case.
That may be true.
I don't want to generalize.
Yeah,
I'm just getting that feeling.
But listen, speaking of cocaine, like, I honestly had no idea Jax was doing cocaine, and apparently, like, everyone knew. Everybody knew.
Yeah.
And so maybe there are certain areas where it is very common. So maybe in LA it's common. Maybe in, Miami it's common. Maybe in New York City it's very common. Maybe in Dallas. I don't know. I'm just picking big cities. Maybe in
Right.
Chicago. Like,
Right.
maybe in these big cities that this is, more common than here in Brick.
Brick, New Jersey. Brick-tucky.
Um And again, we're not going to any parties where there's celebrities or, the kind of
No.
money and wealth that that are happening, in these places.
Right.
We find out Lisa's father had a stroke and he's not doing well. Just missed a call from her brother. He's on a ventilator. They were trying to take him off the ventilator, but that wasn't working. And
And she
she had,
just reconnected with him prior to that.
yes, he just met her daughter for the first time. We didn't know this about Lisa. We didn't know that, that they were her relationship was strained like that.
We didn't know much about Lisa's parents at all. We only knew about Lenny's mother, really. I don't
Right.
even know if Lenny's father was ever on the show, but his mother sure was.
Right.
She flipped on Lisa at the drop of a hat as soon as
She sure
Lenny dangled some flow in front of her face.
she sure did. I was listening to Lisa on Heather McDonald. Did you hear that one?
No, that sounds like a good one though. And she was on Teddy and Tamara. I didn't listen to that either.
Yeah, I listened to both of them. So she was on Heather McDonald. So she has a new app that she came out with. It's called Splitwell for divorce, and it sounds like a fabulous thing. She wish she had it. It helps you find an attorney. It helps you, like, you upload all your documents into it. It, like, has AI, like, to interpret them for you, like, in plain language. It prevents you from, like, that you have to get a lawyer, that makes you communicate better with the person you're divorcing so that it doesn't,
It
like,
sounds
cut
like a
off.
great app.
Yeah, it really does, and she spent a lot of time, and I think Jody's a partner with her on it. It's like everything she said about it, it sounds like she is 100% involved in this. Like, it's not just
Yeah.
she's throwing her name on it. She really worked on this app. But she was talking about Lenny's mom because Heather asked her, and she hasn't spoken to her since that day.
How
Um,
awful. That
yeah,
woman completely how can the grandmother
right.
turn on the mother of her grandchildren like that?
Well, she
You
said
know what kind of wife she was. You know what kind of mother she was. That was disgusting. But her son must have threatened her and said, "I'll cut you off."
yep, yeah, and I mean, Lisa alluded to that, and she said that, it's very strange because her kids see grandma all the time. Because Lenny has the kids 50% of the time, and it's their grandmother.
He's a horrible, horrible man.
He really is, he really is. I feel like he will get his one day. He
He
will
will.
get his.
Yep.
So then we see Gertie's meeting up with Kiki on that yacht. We find out that, Gertie had a tough year with the cancer. She went through 6 surgeries, 4 rounds of
Yeah.
chemo, and 20 rounds of radiation. That's
Yeah.
a lot. So Teddy was talking about this, and Tamara too. And it was good to hear, like, Teddy's point of view. She's like, "Yeah, like, that's a lot." Like, it's a lot. She gained 30 pounds. I didn't understand this, but she was talking about she had to have a breast reduction and she had to have liposuction because one of her breasts is messed up. Something to do with, I guess, scar tissue or something from, I don't know, the surgery. I guess
Probably
maybe
how
when
they
they
had to cut her. Yeah.
Right, right. She said she is cancer free now, but she feels like, she's still going through it. I can't even imagine. I mean, this has been 2 years, right? At this point, it's been 2 years, and that's a lot. That's a lot
It
on your
is a lot.
body. That's a lot on your body. She's got 2 children. I mean, her husband's amazing, but, you know, it's a lot when your husband and your lover and your best friend becomes your caretaker. That's a lot.
Well, yeah, that's what she's afraid of. She's afraid he's gonna start looking at her differently because listen, we know as moms and as wives, you know, it's gonna come to no surprise to our husbands, but we do everything, basically. We have great husbands, but just our roles and our family dynamic is we do pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I mean, so for this to happen to her, plus work, for this to happen to her, and then like that, everything comes to a crashing halt, and he's got to step up and start doing stuff. So I don't, he seems like an amazing guy.
He
It doesn't
does.
seem like this would ever bother him. He
No.
seems like he's definitely up for the task. Is he a cop?
Firefighter.
Firefighter. So listen, but I understand how she feels because, that was her role. Like she held
Mhm.
shit down and now she can't.
Yeah.
But it does, but I understand her feeling like he might start looking at me a different way, but I don't think he would because he doesn't seem like that type of guy.
I don't think he would either, but I definitely understand her. And, when you're used to being this independent person and doing everything, you don't wanna have to rely on other people. You don't want to.
How often do you ask anybody for help?
Never,
Me
never,
neither.
never.
That's just not us. We just
Right,
don't ask for help.
right. And you know what?
So it's
And that
got to be difficult.
right. It's like, and Teddy was saying the same thing. She totally can relate to that. Although, her soon to be ex is, they're living together and they're both dating and he's there to support her 100%, but she's had
That's
to
got to
call
be
him.
so odd, doesn't it?
I would think it would be
Like
odd.
Edwin is in that role where I mean, I don't know if he's her caretaker. I'm sure she has nurses and stuff like that, but when they're home alone and she needs something, if she needs something, it's on him. But meanwhile,
Mhm.
they're separated dating other people.
Right.
That
And they're
has to
okay
be
with
a
it.
wild situation.
But they're both okay with it, which just
Yeah,
blows my
yeah.
mind. Like, it blows my
Which
mind that
thank
they're so
God.
it's so healthy for her to be in, and it's so good for her kids to see this. Like, you know?
Yes.
It really is. I mean, she's in the fight of her life, and he seems I don't know. I don't really know him that well, but since the whole thing came out where she was, like, dating that guy and then they, announced the separation, I started following him and, I see him with the kids a lot, and he takes them to church, and he seems very spiritual. He seems very grounded.
That's good.
Even listening to him on the podcast, like, he's not on it as much as he was before, but even when he's on the podcast, he seems like a very down to earth, grounded person,
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
I mean, it's fortunate for Teddy that she has somebody like that?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, that's really, I mean, it's like a Dolores and Frank, although neither of them are sick, but they're
Right.
they're setting very good examples for their children of how a separated, soon to be divorced couple should
Yes.
behave.
Yes. Yes, they are. They are. Kiki talks about this that she's a member of this Miami Beach yacht club and that she
That's
used
why
to
I
date
started
the
laughing.
owner. I know. And she can use the yacht whenever she wants. I'm like, why did she stop dating the owner?
Well, she found out he had a girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wait, or was that the guy, or was that the guy she was seeing at the reunion? Yes, I'm sorry.
That was the guy at the
She
reunion.
Yeah, the yacht club guy, they just broke up, and then she
Right.
started seeing somebody else, and then she found out he had a girlfriend. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, these guys, if I were a housewife, I would be so leery because this guy probably just wanted to date her. I mean, listen, she's drop dead gorgeous, but he probably was like, "Oh, she's a housewife of Miami," but meanwhile, he had a girlfriend. I wouldn't trust anybody if I was these women.
I know, I know. Then we find out, Adriana is seeing someone for 6 months, and he's a tall guy, and she likes her man like her coffee, French roast tall, dark, and delicious. Okay.
That guy was pretty delicious.
Okay, Adriana. I don't know, I don't know. Then Larsa and Alexia meet up, and Larsa says, "We're both single again." Alexia's like, "No, I'm not. I'm not single." I was like, "Oh my god, Alexia. My
Because
heart
she
is
says
not
that
ready."
her heart is still in love with him, and they don't even talk about the divorce.
Right.
So he divorced you. He
Mm,
moved out in front of your son,
mhm,
and you're sleeping with him,
mhm.
obviously. And you don't even talk about the fact that he just divorced you.
Right. Yep.
I mean, do you think this is all real? Because you know me, I think everything's for the show.
And you know
Do
me,
you
I
think this
I
is
think
real?
I think everything is real. I mean, I think that these I do. I
We
think
are two ends of the spectrum
we really
ev
are. We
on
really
these
are.
issues.
You think everything's for the show, and I think everything's real.
I think everybody is full of shit, and Wendy thinks everybody's telling the truth.
It's so true. It really is true. I think it's real. I just think that I think she's stupid. Like, how can you, like I said, I think this woman has no self respect, and she is just selling herself short and putting up with this bullshit from this man.
I know, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't get it
I mean,
either.
she's beautiful.
She's obviously very shallow.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
there's more to life than beauty. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
yeah.
And she even asked, like,
Adriana says that she wishes Alexia had the strength to get over Todd, right? Did
yeah,
Adriana basically say that?
yeah, yeah,
Like, does she have the strength to move on?
yeah. And Alexia says to, Larsa, like, "How did you end it? Like, how did you move on?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, did you see what happened with Marcus? I mean, how could she not end it? Like, how
Right,
could she not move on?"
right. And you block them. You block them.
Right, that's exactly it. You just block them and you move on. Oh, Adriana's new man, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Amore?
Yes, I believe that is it.
He is Marquis. I don't know what that means.
French royalty.
Okay. Yes, he comes from aristocracy. So what does that mean? Is that like a prince or something?
I guess.
Marquis? I don't know. I have no idea. He's 6'4", though,
Yeah, that's
which
a
is
tall drink of
nice.
water right there.
I did not bother to Google to see if they are still together.
Oh, I didn't either.
All right, we'll have to wait and we'll see. We'll let you know next episode, or you can do it
I'm
now.
gonna look it up right now.
Okay. So while you're looking it up, Martina and Julia arrive at the party and they meet Adriana's new boyfriend. Julia admits that her and Adriana are not very close anymore. And Adriana thinks it's because Julia is getting very close with Alexia and Marisol. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I mean,
I can't find it because it just keeps bringing up Frederick, her
uh,
ex-husband. They're saying Adriana and Julia
Alexia,
had a falling out because she's close with I believe it.
you do?
Yeah, because Marisol is terrible to Adriana. I'm not a big Marisol fan. I do think her one-liners are funny. I'm just not a huge fan. And I love the fact that they will not make her a full-time housewife and she's just a friend of, even though she's at the reunion and she gets just as much airtime as everybody else. But the fact that they won't just call her a housewife and she's a friend of, I think is hysterical.
Mm.
But she's terrible to Adriana.
She is. I mean, she can't stand her. She is.
Yeah. I mean, Alexia is not so bad, but they clearly don't get along. And now Julia's their BFF? Come on.
But is Julia their BFF though? I mean,
She was sitting there consoling Alexia. I mean, that's what I keep seeing online. Like the alignments have shifted, kind of like Jersey.
I just feel like if that's the reason that they're not close, I don't like when people tell you who you could be friends with. I just don't. I just don't. Their friendship can be separate. You don't have to agree with what Marisol does. And you could tell Marisol you don't agree with what she does.
Yeah. And especially because Adriana is a friend of also.
Right.
Julia is a full-time housewife. So she has to find her place. Because Adriana could be gone next season. I mean, any one of them could be, but she's
Right.
just a friend of. She, lifts out easily.
That's the thing about Miami. There's a lot of friend of because Kiki's a friend of too.
Kiki? Yeah, why don't they make her a full-time housewife? The only thing I was thinking, though, was that maybe Kiki is not a full-time housewife because maybe whatever custody situation she has with her ex, with her daughter, maybe he won't allow her daughter to film, and that, she would have to bring her daughter on the show. We need to see something.
Well, I
I
don't
was
know because
thinking that because why don't they
Kiki
just
said
make her a full-time housewife?
she had said that her son was off to college and she moved to a new apartment. So, I don't
But
think her
she has
children.
a daughter because the daughter's the one who dropped the phone in the toilet, right?
Yeah, but how will yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I guess the daughter must be young.
she must be younger.
Yeah.
Maybe there's certain things she can't share as a full-time housewife, and that's why she's not, because everybody loves her. You can't not
Yes.
love Kiki. She's
No, I
hysterical.
agree. I love Kiki. I totally
She's
agree.
like, "Why does everybody think I need to be having sex with this man to use his yacht?"
Exactly.
It's so
Uh, I did think that the outfit that Gertie showed up in was horrible.
terrible.
The red
I
lace.
mean,
I mean, the
it
hat.
had that, who's that woman? Dorothy Dandridge?
Yeah, Dorothy Dandridge.
It
Yeah.
definitely had a vibe to it. I think it was the red wig. I think she needed a darker wig, and then it didn't land.
It was screaming Fredericks of Hollywood to me.
Yes, and I'm no fashionista, but yes, it was
Yeah.
Screaming Fredericks of
Yeah.
Hollywood, which is no longer at Ocean County Mall if anyone was interested.
I don't
You
think is it
cannot find that at Ocean County Mall
is it
anymore.
in any mall? I think it's probably
I
online
don't know,
only, if it's
but
even
Ocean County Mall
online.
is becoming more family friendly,
Yes.
so
So she shows up in that hideous catsuit and she's feels awkward with Martina and Julia. They are doing these bone marrow shots. I've never heard of those. Have you? Did you see that?
yeah, no, I haven't. Is that what they were doing?
Yes, bone marrow shots.
I mean,
Listen,
I know it's supposed to be healthy for you,
I was
but,
gonna
I
say,
mean,
I
is that
think
what you're
it's
serving at a party?
I don't yes, I mean, I don't know if they mix that with alcohol too.
I hope so.
I don't know, but bone marrow is supposed to be very good for you.
Mhm.
I don't know, we gotta
I still
investigate that.
yeah, you better mix it with alcohol.
So then we see Larsa and Lisa are arguing about the fight over text. Lisa is drunk. So Larsa says, we're going to talk about it. You're not going to talk about it now. Lisa does an outfit change in the middle of her party. It was Jody's party. Why is she doing the outfit change? It was Jody's party.
Because she's Lisa. But, it was interesting when Larsa said, because I didn't know this, she, like, did she say she went on the stand?
Yeah, she testified for her. Yes, she did say that.
And I would imagine that that means that Larsa listen, you could say what you want about Larsa. She has always had Lisa's back.
She said, I testified under oath for Lisa, and she doesn't feel like she has her back.
Yeah, and Larsa has always had I think that that is the thing with Larsa, like, love her or hate her, but if you're her friend, she rides hard.
Yeah.
Um, and she must have seen some shit. If she had to testify for
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, she must have seen some shit go down because I would imagine Lenny is a nasty guy when he wants to be.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't think Larsa should have been questioning Jody at his own birthday party, though.
No, no, it was awkward. That was an awkward
It was so
conversation. And
awkward.
I even wrote that down. I was like, "This is kind of an awkward conversation. Like, what is
He's like,
going
"I just
on?"
wanna go hit some AC in my bedroom, man."
No, well, he didn't say hit some AC. Oh my gosh,
I know, I'm only kidding.
did you see the backlash about that? I had
Yeah,
to
but
watch
I
I hadn't
really
even
think they were talking about air conditioning, don't you?
they are
Are
100%
are we,
were.
like, naive? I think they
No.
really were talking about air con it's fucking Miami.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
Lisa
like
put out
the
her statement. I think they were.
yeah.
And if you look at Jody, like, you definitely don't get that vibe with Jody.
I mean, you don't, but I don't think I got that vibe from Marcus Jordan either.
I don't know, but to put that out there, this man has a
And listen, it's
reputation.
not a great look. It's not a great look that now we're seeing that they've really had a friendship and they were close, and there's pictures of Marcus actually doing it. I still don't think they were doing that in their bedroom, though.
I don't either, and I don't think that they would have said it like that on camera, and I do think that, a bunch of his friends did not wanna be on camera, which
Right.
I can totally understand.
And it's so like, if you listen to what they say, he's like, "Oh, the AC is good." He's like, "Yeah, I know, right?" You're not gonna say that about cocaine.
No.
Like, you're not gonna be like, "Oh, that cocaine was real." Like, cocaine's cocaine.
Right.
you know, you do it, you get a feeling, and that's it. It's not like, it's not like getting your hair done and you're like, "Oh, this really looks great," right? Like, I don't know, am I reading this wrong?
No, I think that was totally blown out of proportion. I think Lisa made her statement. I think,
Maybe it was Lenny who did this. Maybe it was Lenny who twisted it. Are they still
listen,
going through their divorce?
no, it's final. The divorce is final. It
Okay.
was final November of 24.
Okay, good.
Jody just kind of leaves it as, "I'm sure you guys are gonna work it out," so he's not gonna have the conversation. But then we see Adriana and her boyfriend are, like, making out on the I mean, that was disgusting in the middle of the party.
That was extremely cringy.
Really? Like, I mean, get a room. You are grown. You are a grown woman in the middle of a party.
Well, it leads you to believe that it's like a fake relationship.
It's performative. It's very
It's
performative.
formative. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And yeah. Sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm not
I'm
buying
not
it.
buying it either. She is a phony baloney, Adriana.
She sure is.
So
She
maybe
really
that's why
is.
Alexia and Marisol have such a problem with her.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Then we see Gertie trying to talk to Martina. She's like, you guys work it out. Jody and his friends are going to have some AC. I did think it was funny though when Lisa kept telling Larsa to leave. There's the door you need to leave. And Larsa was not leaving. She kept coming back.
I wrote the same thing down. She keeps
This is
saying,
so
"Get
funny.
out, get out, get out." I said she needs to leave. Why won't she just leave?
Yep. You
And
need
you're
to leave.
calling someone a stupid bitch. I'd ask you to leave my house too.
Yep.
I
Well,
might clock you first.
yeah, and she said to her, she told her that she had it was a fake breakup. You're a fake breakup. You and Marcus you already broke up 4 times. Like, I was like,
She said I stayed, and I guess it was last season.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then Marisol tells Lisa she's had too much to drink, which she did. Lisa did have too much to drink. Lars is crying in the bathroom with Kiki, and Lisa says, like, I don't want you crying. You called me a bitch. And then she tells her to get out again. She tells her to leave again.
And she doesn't leave.
She doesn't leave.
Love when Larsa said, I didn't want it to be about me. Yes, you did. You walked into Jody's birthday party and started like harassing him about it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did want it to be about you. And
Yeah.
that's fine. Because otherwise, it probably would have been a pretty boring party
Yeah.
or a boring scene for us to watch.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of where it ended, right? Like, I don't have anything after that.
Yeah. And then the AC thing,
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, they said the AC is so good. And he's like, yeah, I know, right?
Yep.
Like, to me, uh, there was no undertone there. I didn't think at all.
I didn't either. I did not either.
Like, you're in Miami, for crying out loud. It's 100 degrees.
Right. And it was just fans that made this conclusion online, right? It wasn't anyone in the cast.
Probably, yeah.
And you're right. It could have been Lenny that started
It
it.
could have been Lenny.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I think he's a terrible person.
Yeah,
And
not a
he's
fan.
probably pissed off. He's probably paying her a lot of money. Although, wait, we talked about it. It wasn't
Mhm.
a lot of money considering how much he earns and his big fucking house on Star Island. He wasn't giving her a ton of money.
I know, but it was enough though. And it's enough. It's enough.
Yeah. I mean, as long as it keeps her in her cozy 6,000-foot condo, she'll be all right.
And she's got this new business, so she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Good for her. That's what she needs to focus on. Something, to be self-sufficient.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And not an alcohol line
Which is
because
what
that's
we're
what they
trying
like.
to do. So please subscribe
Yes, please subscribe. Tell your friends. Give us 5-star
and
reviews.
follow and share
Yes.
so
Look at
we
us
can
on
be
YouTube.
self-sufficient.
We are very entertaining on YouTube. You don't have to just listen to us. You can come watch us. You get to see
You
this
can
whole
watch
yeah, we have a whole thing going on
shit
here.
show play out. I'm drinking tonight.
So am I. So am I. We have to let them know our kids are graduating high school tomorrow. Like, this is something to celebrate. We are celebrating.
Our youngest in general,
Yes.
are
Yes.
graduating high school tomorrow, and both very nice young men, both equally as difficult in different ways.
Yes.
We
But we're
have
here.
both been on a journey for the past 4 years where we didn't know if tomorrow would come. They go to different schools,
We're at the
but
finish
thank you,
line.
Jesus, we are at the finish line. And of course, it's gonna fucking rain, so we don't know when or where these graduations are. Well, Wendy's, you know where
Mine's
you're.
inside. Mine's
Yeah,
inside.
you're fine.
I'm fine.
We don't. Joe's is up in the air, but I don't care because either way, he's he's getting a diploma, and I haven't heard otherwise. And it's tomorrow, and thank you, Jesus.
There you go.
So we're drinking
Amen.
tonight. We'll be drinking tomorrow
Tomorrow
night.
night. Yes, we will. We
Yeah,
will. That's okay that we're celebrating, as we
phew,
should. As we
as we
should.
should.
We
Yeah,
did it.
we
We did
did
it.
do it. We need T-shirts made up. We
We
did it.
did it. I will be honest with you. Matt said to me today, he goes, "Are you gonna cry?" I said, "No, I'm not gonna cry." He goes, "I might cry." I said, "Well, you can cry." I said, "You put in the work." He goes, "No, I gotta give you credit too, Ma." I was like,
Aw, that was so nice.
it was sweet. It was very sweet, but I'm still not
That's
crying.
really sweet.
I'm still not crying.
I teared up, steaming Joe's gown, his
Graduation
thing.
gown. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't see it coming, but I have a feeling I will cry tomorrow. And a lot of it has to do with the teachers and the staff at Brick Memorial, I'll just say the school, who have helped him along the way because like I said, he can be a little difficult and some of them really, like, went above and beyond. And I've emailed them all thanking them. So, you know, I think I don't know if I cried at Tessa's.
I'm sure you did.
I probably did.
I mean, you cried at the 5th grade celebration. You
Yeah, I'm a
cry.
sap. Yeah,
You
you can't
cry.
go by me.
That's what you do. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
And I don't cry. I am cold and heartless. I just don't.
I don't think that is true. I'll tell you what, Liz Vesci is gonna be a hot mess tomorrow.
Is she?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to sit next to her for some comedic relief.
Because she's gonna bring you down that rabbit hole when she starts crying. I
She
will
is gonna
cry
be a
when I see
mess.
someone else crying. I don't know if I would. She's gonna bring you down that rabbit hole.
I know, maybe we should stay on opposite
Yeah.
sides of the field. But Joe is the last of my parents' grandchildren and Eric's parents' grandchildren to graduate high school.
So is Matt. My parents and Bill's parents, the last to graduate, the youngest.
So big stuff, people, big stuff. So we're celebrating.
We are celebrating. All right. So until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Bye.
Bye.